Hello, welcome. My name is Tim Erickson. I'm here with Simplo by Triplo, and today we're going to talk about the ScrollReveal module, the nice little JavaScript library module that helps add some animation and effects to your website. Okay, the ScrollReveal module, like all the other modules, can be found on backdropcms.org at project/ScrollReveal. For our demo today, I have a simple backdrop site, and I have downloaded the ScrollReveal module and the sample content module. So what we're going to do is quickly enable these two modules. Okay, and with the two modules enabled, if you've seen some of my other videos, you've seen these sample animal nodes before, and they are all showing up here on the front page as individual nodes. The ScrollReveal configuration is found here under Configuration User Interface ScrollReveal. This does require a little bit of understanding of sort of how to get classes from your markup for your page in order to use. But on the whole, it's not too hard a module to use. So what we're going to do to start with in our example is create a special effect as you reveal these various nodes on the front page. To get started, we need a JavaScript selector, is what they were looking for. In other words, just if you do any theming, just a class. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on one of these nodes here, and I'm going to look for, on the right side here, I'm going to hover over and try to find the basic element that I want to target for this effect. And for those of you who aren't aware, what I'm using are the developer tools built into Firefox or Chrome. Any of the major browsers have developer tools that allow you to get in and look at your code like this. If you're not familiar with how this works or don't have it, sometimes you have to turn these on. They're not available to you right away. But once they're available to you and you've turned them on, you can right click and inspect the page and find things like this. And basically, what we want to target are the individual articles. I can see here that each of these articles is inside of a div, but the class that I can use would be, say, view mode teaser. That's a class that's going to be common to each one of these elements that I want to animate. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. I'm going to remember view mode teaser. And now I'm going to go to configuration, user interface, ScrollReveal, and say view mode teaser. And the example shows a dot at the beginning. That's how we often indicate a class. What I could have also done is something to indicate the front page, although I think if we go down here, I also have pages visibility, so I can say only show this on the front page. Is the only place I want this effect to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that. And I don't think I'm going to do anything else to start with. I'm just going to hit that, hit save. We're going to go to the home page. And boom, we see each one of these items are sort of fading in as we scroll down. Each view mode teaser. Those will be the only things affected. Now, just a couple of the other things we can do. Let's go back to user interface scroll. We can do things like delay the time before the animation starts, or extend the duration. Let's put, we've got like milliseconds. So this would be, if I set this to 5,000, this would be like 5 seconds now, the duration for each one of these animations, which should slow it down a lot. Look at how slow these now appear. This is probably not a practical effect, but it's something you can do. Let's go back to user scroll, and we're going to go ahead and change this, set this back to about 600 or even 800. I found that to be a little less than a second is a good time. We can also do things like set a distance of 700 pixels, and this is just going to affect the amount of movement. Oh, look at this. They're coming now. These images are dropping down from above. Okay. If we go back to ScrollReveal, we can say, instead of coming from the top, come from the left. There we go. Now they're sliding in. Here's something cool is we can get in and do some rotations. Uh, those of you good at math and geometry might have a better idea of which axis you want to use. I'm going to start with the y-axis, and I'm going to say let's do a 90-degree. I want to do something extreme because I want it to be really visible for our demo. It's probably not practical. The effect is happening pretty fast, so we're not getting a really good review of it. I think I'm going to go back to the 5,000, and I'm going to leave it there. There we go. Now we can kind of see how they're turning in to the page because we slowed it way down. That's really helpful. I'm going to try one more thing here. Instead of coming in from the y-axis, let's get rid of that. Let's do an x-axis. There we go. It's kind of rotating up from top to bottom. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the y-axis so we can see. There we go. Now we get a really crazy effect. Let's do one more thing. And play with the opacity. And let's do like a 0.25. This is a value related to 1. 1 is a full opacity. 0 is totally transparent. And go ahead and hit save. Now we're seeing that it's fading from light to dark as well as rotating. Anyways, let's go back and do one more that set this to something that might actually be a little more realistic or something we might actually use on our website. I'm going to get rid of, well, I don't know. I'm going to leave 10% on the rotate Z, have it do just a little bit of an angle. We're going to speed this up. About 800 is what I have found is good. And let's just set that to 300 pixels. I think that might work. And this might be a little bit more of a kind of a realistic effect that you might do in building your website. You'll notice that it only happens the first time. We need to refresh the page to get this effect to re-happen. It'll happen once for each thing. There is a setting here that will reset. If we set that to true and we go back to the home page, now we're going to see that as we scroll down, those move. As we scroll up, they move again, and they keep moving each time. So there's a whole number of settings here. We're not going to go through them all right now. I'm going to encourage you to play with this and experiment. We also have settings here at the bottom where you can say which pages you want these effects to happen on. Also, you can indicate which themes, if you have multiple themes, you want to be affected by this effect. The next thing we're going to do is what if we wanted to be way more specific and just target one specific element. Right now we're doing all of the view mode teasers. Let's go ahead and delete this element that we set up and create another one. And we're going to go to the home page and say, what if we only want the lion to zoom in like this? So I'm going to right click and hit the inspect button. And this is going to take me here. And I'm going to try to get the article the same level, but I'm going to look for something more specific, like the node ID. I'm not 100% sure if this is going to work on node IDs, but let's give it a try. So it's node-6. So we're going to go ahead and close that window, go back to our ScrollReveal, and let's try node 6. And we put the hashtag that indicates an ID. Okay, we go to the home page, and sure enough, the only item that spun in was the lion. Okay, I reset the y-axis to 90% so we can make this really obvious. Yeah, there we could really see the lion spin in. So it's only affected that. Now, what if we want to do the lion and the elephant? Well, then what we can do is go back here, and we can add a new element, so we can have multiple different individual elements. Ooh, but we didn't get the ID for the elephant. And the elephant is node 3. So now we can Okay, so now we're going to create a new element, node 3. Let's also do, we can set these custom settings for each one. So I'm going to set this one for really slow, like we did before. And instead of doing a y-axis, let's do an x-axis rotation. So now, boom, the lion came in like it did before, but as we get down to the elephant, we're going to see a completely different effect that specifically targeted the elephant. So you can target as many different elements as you want with different configurations for each one. Although this the page and theme visibility is going to affect all of your different selections or all of the different elements. So anyways, I think this is a really fun module to help add some effects to your pages. I warn you not to overuse it. I'm not a big fan of overly animated pages, but some little subtle effects I think are really nice and can really spice up your page a bit. So that's it for today. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next video.